All right, so guys, we're going to take a look at the dollar 3-2 defense. This is probably one of the most flexible defenses out there. You can essentially have 8 defensive backs if you wanted to. You've got your down linemen that are going to be rushing and stuff like that. So this has got some really good flexibility. Meta plays right now are the DB Fire 2 press. Another meta play that you can use is spinner. You have the luxury of a cover 4 drop, show, contain. And then there's a couple different things that we can do with this. We've also got the safety go that we can use in this scheme. Is just a way to go and just kind of give your opponent kind of a different look. It'd be similar to what we did with the dollar. And this gives you basically a good way to set up the defenses just to kind of catch your opponent off guard. Now, I want to talk about a base defense. This is really good in 2-minute warning type situations or at the end of half. You don't want to give up cheap yards to your opponent. You want to make him work his way down. You want to give him one-play touchdowns. It's a really good defense. And there's also ways that you can run this thing to be very effective. One thing I do want to say is that if you're running the cover 2 man linebacker blitz, you want to go ahead and run this as man align. This is going to get you a better coverage setup. So we're going to go jump into this. This is a really good defense to use against trip sets and stuff like that. So really what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our defender. We're going to try to user away certain areas of the field. So let's just go ahead and set this up again. So if I got a trip set, I want to go ahead and make sure that he's not throwing over the top of the field. I can flip the ball or flip the play, and I'm going to go ahead and take my outside defender that's actually in a blitzing situation. We'll put him in a curl flat. This is going to, or not a curl flat, but a curl flat type situation. So I want to go ahead and take away that read like that. I'm going to blitz my outside guy, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my one guy and put this one guy, edge defender right here, on a hook zone just so he actually carries. Now, my responsibility is to try to defend basically this hash right here, this area over the field. Now, I'm going to blitz my guy down so I don't get any sandwich blocks going out with a running play. So, once again, I'm going to be looking for crossers and try to go and hit over the top of the coverage. Now, one adjustment that you can do to be a little bit more effective with that is that you can go ahead and take this guy and put him on a deep half. And then put your other defender right here and put him on a curl flat. This is going to essentially go ahead and defend the deep half for you. And it's also going to keep guy right over the middle of the field. And I always want to do inside coverage and let my opponent throw things to the outside. So we're going to go ahead and run this once again. Coverage was right there. The guy was right there. We're going to go ahead and jump into this again. So we've got trip side off to the right. We're going to go ahead and flip this. We're going to go ahead and take this guy, put him over the middle, blitz this guy down, and we're going to go ahead and put a curl flat out there just so we can take away any of these routes. And I want to funnel everybody towards me with this defense. I want people to come back to this crossing route right here for me to do that. Now, another adjustment that you can do with this defense is that you can take away one side of the field and prevent any kind of crossers. So this is a little bit more of a high-level defensive setup. So what you can do is you can go ahead and man up, double team your outside defender on the outside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that defensive back that's over him and put him in a soft squat, and we're going to shade in the inside. So we do that. Basically what's going to happen is now I've got basically a squat flat out here off to the right side, and he's going to pass this guy off and then essentially pass him off to the defender. Now I'm going to have a hard flat on the back side, or it could be a curl flat or whatever. And what this does is it basically forces your opponent to kind of funnel things in. So I want to show this to you, why this is a good way to bait an opponent into making a bad play. Watch this defender right here. He's going to fall back with the coverage and then just pass him off. And if this guy doesn't read it correctly, he sees a double team type situation, he's not going to think anything of it. He's going to think he might be able to throw over the top, but he's actually also going to think that this is going to be wide open underneath. What happens is this defender actually stops and comes down and potentially gets into a passing lane. So even though the guy caught that, that could be a very ugly situation. And this crossing route on the back side is actually in play too. So if you threw that, this route is going to take that deeper crossing route and come down to the lower route. So This is a really good defense to use against your opponent if he's running a lot of trip sets. And basically what you do is you double team that trip set on one side. You go ahead and take this guy, set him up like so. And run it like so. This is probably the preferred setup. If I'm running it, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double team this guy, put this guy in a curl flat. I'm going to put this middle linebacker into a deep half. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this edge defender on a curl flat. And always inside shade, and what that does is it's going to take away those inside routes. And my job is just to play over the top, make sure my opponent doesn't pick me off or it doesn't give me an opportunity to throw anything over the top of me. And this is going to give me an opportunity to pick them off. So really, really good defense to throw against your opponent, especially if you got a trip side. So I'm going to set this up inside shade. It's pretty stout against the run because most of the players are playing run fits. And for the most part, unless you're getting a guy that's running like heavy sets or he's running 3 tight end sets and stuff like that, this is a really good defense to use. It's a really good blanket defense to use just to really catch your opponent off guard. So that's what I like about it. And my responsibility is this deep half. I want to go ahead and try to catch any kind of crossing routes or anything like that. And it's stout against the run. Conversely, what you can do is you can jump into some other plays too. You can still access spinner. Set this down. My responsibility obviously is going to be to handle that seam route. But you got spinner that you can quickly jump into. You can jump into basically another place. So let's go ahead and jump into some other some of the adjustments I would do. So if I'm setting this up, I'm going to go ahead and leave spinner. I'm going to swap out that cover 2 press with the DB fire press. And then in cover 3 buzz spy, I don't want to use that. I'm going to use basically cover 4 drop. So you can use this as your defensive scheme if you want to. And then one adjustment that we could do is we can use this double safeties go as our base setup. This is going to bring those safeties down. This is similar to what we just showed to you. And we can jump into man coverage. And we'll just use our guys. We've got basically our guys down in the box. And we just do, and to make sure, since we're going with a press coverage, I'm going to go over the top coverage to make sure we don't get beat over the top. It's going to bring those safeties down. But they're going to fall back into coverages, and we're just going to go ahead and take away our opponent's fast reads. Now, you jump into cover 4. Got this set up. If you wanted to, you can go ahead and base align just to get a better setup. But this essentially is going to get your guys down to the box. You want to go over the top coverage, make sure you don't get beat over the top. And once again, this is going to kind of give you, how you're going to basically go with this type of a coverage against your opponent. So you can jump into cover 4 as a way to just kind of keep your opponent guessing. Set up basically cover 2 shell. Got everybody down to the box. Very impressive front. We got the edge pressure coming in, so just another way to go and attack your opponent with that. And then you can obviously go in the spinner. And if we wanted to, we can show our opponent's spinner, but basically have man assignments against him just to kind of throw off his reads a little bit. So if he wants to go ahead and try to do a running play like that, you can do the spinner thing to really catch him off guard. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is similar to basically the dime defense. So that's what I like about it. It's just another way to you can blend things in and just kind of mess people up. It's always adjusting about what he's doing with their defense. I do like to use the Yiggity roll. This is a defense that I use a lot. However, I'm going to make some different adjustments with some of my defensive setups with the Yiggity roll. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you some old video of the Yiggity roll just so you can see how I set that up. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. Until next time.